Hello busy professional and welcome to our beginner's course on ClickUp 3.0. In this course we will explore the essential elements of ClickUp, including its setup and comprehensive features. This course serves as a foundational stepping stone for the advanced ClickUp ICOR Pro course. If you're keen to deeply understand and efficiently utilize the robust functionalities of ClickUp 3.0, progressing to the ClickUp ICOR Pro course is a must. Our focus today, however, is on the basics, but we'll cover a wide range of topics. We'll delve into ClickUp's hierarchical structure and examine various object types such as lists, docs, whiteboards, dashboards, and goals. Additionally, we'll explore custom views and relational databases, ensuring a well-rounded understanding of the platform. This course is designed to be comprehensive yet accessible, laying a solid foundation for your journey in mastering ClickUp 3.0. So without further ado, let's dive in and start your journey towards enhanced productivity with ClickUp.
Paperless movement, your productivity, your way.
Alright everyone, first let's dive into the hierarchy of ClickUp. If you're coming from Asana or Monday.com or any other project management tools, then you might know already that you have something like projects or lists or anything like this going on. The big advantage of ClickUp and why we stick to ClickUp for all these years already is the way how you can see everything on bird's eye view. So in other project management tools, you can have portfolios to show projects and some different progress and so on. But usually this means manual setup of these overviews and restricted views on the details. In ClickUp, you really can zoom out and see everything and zoom in to a single block inside ClickUp. All this means you will learn in ClickUp, but I think it's essential to start with the hierarchy in order to understand why ClickUp is so powerful. So here we are in the view all spaces area, and here you see visible spaces, Tom Personal and team paperless movement. What does this mean? So let's have a look. Here we are in the workspace level. We are in the workspace paperless movement, and you see here there's another workspace ClickUp demo. I will show you the paperless movement workspace because this is the business. I want to show you the real case here. And this means in this workspace, this is really the top level. And the next level is then the different spaces. So you see here Team Paperless Movement and Tom Personal. These are the spaces. If we open up a space, then you see here are folders. And if we open up a folder, you see here are the lists. And if we open up the list, you see a list of tasks that we worked on. And if we open up the task, you see a subtask. And this is essentially it. What you also could do if we go here, we could then also add a checklist. You see here's the checklist, and the beauty is when I go out here, the checklist is also reflected on this list. So that's the nice way of ClickUp to visualizing all the different hierarchy levels of what we are working on. So you see here, there is one subtask. I immediately see this. I can drop it down. I see the subtask. And here is a checklist that's still open. So when I uncheck this to not start it and I close this, it will even give me a warning that there are still check marks not being solved. I say resolve all, and now it's solved. So this is essentially it about the hierarchy. So the other thing is that we want to look at ClickUp to get started. The different objects inside ClickUp. So you just saw here the tasks and the subtasks. So essentially the task, and this is the task view. We will talk about this in a minute. This is a task object. Then we have the folders and lists. These are objects as well. But then we have also docs, and we have whiteboards, and we have dashboards, and we have goals. We will look at them one by one. But before we do this, let's create a new space. I can click here to create a new space, and I can go through the process and set up the space in any way I like. We will use the template that we teach in the ClickUp ICOR Pro course, how to use it, but it's nice also to show you the basics of ClickUp. So I use this template, so therefore it will create now a space based on this template. So here we go. It added this template here, and you see it has the same structure as our business setup as well. That's actually what we teach in the ClickUp ICOR Pro course. What are projects, work streams, operations, the databases and so on. This is really the structure, how we do agenda meetings, how we manage ideas. This is really what you learn in the ClickUp ICOR Pro course. But in this course, we will talk about how you set all this up. So now that we have here the template, I want to give you a warning. If you go back to the spaces and go to templates, if you go to the ClickUp templates, there are 1,500 templates, and it can become really overwhelming if you simply search for project management. And then you see here SEO project management, agile scrum, and so on. So this can be really daunting. And the worst is, for busy professionals like you have a running business. You have no time to dive too much into all this. This is why we don't recommend to use any of these templates if they don't have a proper explanation or course behind it that explains to you why to use this. Also, many of these are very specific for specific use cases. So the ICOR template that we teach in the ClickUp Like a Pro course, it is really the simplest form that you can have it, and it's so flexible that you can use this as a solopreneur as well as incorporate. It's scalable. And the principles that we teach on how to handling priorities, how to set due dates and all this, these are essential to the template and can be applied in many ways, but it's not overloading. It's not making anything complicated here. So when you open this up, you see the projects, work streams, operations, documents. There's nothing complicated behind this. Here's the agenda meeting. This is the place where we hold our weekly meetings. The idea incubator is the place where you collect the ideas. And then you have the projects which have a start and an end date. And then you have the work streams that are recurring projects. And then you have operations that are single tasks that are carried out in different departments. And then you have your documentation section and your databases. And now with the knowledge about the hierarchy of ClickUp, let's talk now about the individual objects. So when we go, for example, to projects and we create a new task 1 and task 2, and I assign these tasks to myself and I set the due date for today, then I can go to the everything on top level, and you see now these tasks appearing here on top level, plus the tasks out of the team paperless movement space as well. So that's the beauty. However, this is all based on the specific rules that we teach in the ClickUp Like a Pro course to see it this way. Many people who start using ClickUp, they have a lot of spaces there. They go to top level and it looks something like this. They have a long list of different tasks from everybody all over the place. And this is really becoming very messy, very quickly and overwhelming. And especially then when you have different types of statuses and so on, this becomes even worse. Here you see clearly, I know exactly what I need to work on this week and from all the different spaces. So this means when I have something in my personal space, it would appear here as well. Of course, you have similar views in the home section that we will talk later on, but this is still an advantage because we can be even more flexible here. So with this explained now, I want to talk about the favorites bar quickly on top here. There are my favorites and I can unpin this and they disappear. That's what you see when you start ClickUp for the first time. You have the Save Favorites tab. I can open this up. I see it here and I can click there very quickly. I prefer to have it on top, and you saw I just clicked the pin and now it's on top. So therefore I can quickly go to my week. It opens up the everything, my week, and that's it. So I did this by right click and click favorite. So I can end favorite. See, it disappeared from the favorites bar. Right click and say add to favorites. Save it. I can give it a different name if I like. And then I have it there. I can move it around here and boom, there I have it. Whenever I need to get focus again, what I need to work on now, then I click on my week. This is the beauty of the top level views. Now let's talk about the object tasks. So we created these tasks. Let's open up the task and talk about the different sections that we have here inside the task view. So first of all, you have different ways to visualize the task. I prefer the full screen, but here on top you have a switch layout button where you can then say default. That's the version that we had in ClickUp 2.0 already. And then we have the sidebar version. That's also very useful in some cases when you need to work through different tasks. You see I can navigate here and it easily updates this without closing the task. So this is another helpful view. And then I can navigate through activity and details here on the side. And then we have additional things here on the side that I show you in a moment. But now let's go to full screen. Now I have both next to each other, and activity is really something very important. Another thing that we teach in ICOR to our paperless movement members is to always have a single source of truth. And what people misunderstand is there's not one single source of truth. There are endless single source of truths, if you like, if you understand what it means to have context. This means if I have anything that is related to task 2, I will actually add it to task 2. And the beauty about ClickUp is, because you may now say, but I have something that applies to task 1, but also affects task 2. Then in this case, that's the beauty again about ClickUp. I can make a comment. This is relevant for task 2. There we go. And now I could go to the 3 dots and copy the URL. And inside ClickUp, any item has its own URL. I can go out of task 1 and open task 2. And now I can just simply paste this link that I just saved and paste it in here. And now I have a comment embedded from task 1. See, I can simply click there and it will automatically go to task and goes to this comment. Another option, however, which is more elegant, is I could have mentioned the task 2. So therefore I use add to mention a person, or I use 2 adds to mention a task. And now I mention task 2 and save this. So you see it embeds the task. It even gives me more details when I hover over it. I can even change the status of the task from here without even leaving task 1. So therefore I already have control over the other task. However, if I click on there and go to the task 2 now, on the side appeared this new section, the task links. And this is the referencing place. So it shows me here, I'm in task 2. It shows me that this task 2 was referenced by task 1. And then it gives me even more details about the task 1 if I like. So I can add more things from there, like the start date, custom fields, and all these things. But then also I click here on the task and then I can immediately go to this task. So that's really powerful because I can mention other tasks and therefore I automatically get the context in these other tasks. And that's one of the most powerful features in ClickUp. It's the cross-referencing of objects inside ClickUp, because now I can go to the document and I can do the same here and mention the task 2. And now let's see what happens inside the task. That there is now doc links as well. So I click here and I see, oh, this is referenced in business details. I click there and it goes to the task directly here. So where it was referenced. The other way around, I could now be in activity or even in the description and I mention this doc. Therefore I use 3 adds and I use business detail. I click on business details and you see it embeds this nicely. I sent this as a comment. And now if I go to business details, I see here now a 1 for relationships and references. I click here and I see, oh, this is referenced by task 2. So now I can click here and I immediately go to this comment where this was referenced in. This is really powerful, but this only works if you follow the rules of a single source of truth that we teach inside the Paperless Movement membership in ICOR. If everybody follows these simple rules to place information to where they matter, or if they need to be in several places to then reference other things, this will become really powerful. So let's complete this in task. What else do we have here? We have details. Therefore, we have AI. Amazing. We can here generate automatic updates. So we have a progress. See, it tells me then what happened inside the task. It automatically updates this for the past 24 hours and so on. This is a custom field that I set up in another space, and this is part of the template. That's why it's appearing here. And here are attachments. So let's create a doc. Now we have this doc created and we can click on it, and you see here again the relationship to this task is automatically placed without even doing anything else, and it appears down here as an attachment. But also, if I just make a quick screenshot of something and I paste it in here in a comment, it shows the screenshot here, but it also adds it as an image to the attachments. So you get a long list of attachments whenever you add any resources here. That's really nice. You can even make this full screen to show all this and show it in different ways. That's really nice. I can also directly attach something here, and you see here is my Dropbox integration and Google Drive integration. That's something I can do. I could even create a new Google Doc, opens this up, and then I can give it a name, test doc, and I can say this, and boom, there we go. We have a test doc created. I can open up this test doc, and now let's write something very specific in here, like test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and let's close this doc. Now this is a great moment to test the universal search, because if you go there and hit Command K, now I can search for test doc, and you see it appears here and it gives you the icon of the Google Doc that we have here. You can also share your private things, and it will search also in your private Google Drive as well. That's possible too. So now the very powerful thing is I can even search for content within these Google Docs. So I can say test 1, 2, 3, 4, and it still shows me the test doc, but it also shows me website dashboard. Let's see what this means. And if I search on this, you see there is actually a test account that I created once with test 1, 2, 3, 4. So isn't this amazing? With this universal search, I'm not only able to search inside ClickUp, it's truly universal because I can search outside, and not only for documentation titles, but also documentation content. And this is truly amazing. This is so powerful because this allows you to keep your documents on a cloud storage or other files on a cloud storage, but you're still able to find the information from within ClickUp without even leaving. And now I could go here and say tab for further commands, and I can say open in browser, copy URL, download directly in a different format. You know, I can say now download this as a PDF. Boom, it immediately creates a PDF, and there we have it. There's the PDF with our test, a text that we had in there. It really goes far beyond than just simple universal search. Something that we really force working at the paperless movement is using threads. I mentioned already the single source of truth principle. This also applies to conversations, because there's nothing more messy than if somebody would reply now to this here in a separate section. And then another topic comes in between, and then you try to refer to something back. No, that's not how we work. Also working in any other communication tool that provides us threads, this is the way it goes. You have something that a person starts, this becomes the topic, and then you reply to this topic in a thread. Reply 1. And therefore, I have now my single source of truth for this topic. Now I can go back and I can handle the next topic. And again, very powerful in ClickUp, I can mention any person in here to reply, but also assign this comment to the person. So now you see this comment is assigned to me, and I even mentioned myself, and I sent this, and now you see here assigned to me, resolve. Why do you need to do this? This is to really give some tasks in order to move forward in your task that you are assigned to other people without reassigning the actual task. So if we go out now, this is very powerful because now you see this icon appears that tells me there's an open comment that I have to answer. If somebody else goes there, they don't see this, only if there are other comments applied to them. So when I click there, I see the comment immediately without even going into the task. And if I click there, it will go into the task, or I could even resolve it just from out there. But now let's go back in here and let's assign this to me. Now let's move to home, and there we go. Here is assigned comments. This is the power of the new home. It's really amazing because everything has now a proper place. So here we have the assigned comments. There's my reply. I can click there. It will go into the thread to the comments that I need to work on, and I can work on this here. I can check it off to resolve it without even leaving, and there we go. So any comments that are assigned to me will be here in my assigned comments inbox. And if you follow us at the Paperless Movement, we are loving inboxes. And this is again a single source of truth for my assigned comments. Then we have the reminders. This was previously mixed with the assigned to me in the old ClickUp version. Now we have the reminders here. So reminders we didn't even mention here. I can go to new and I set a reminder and say, remind me tomorrow. And then I can set a command. I assigned a reminder to myself. I could now even remind somebody else. So this reminder would be assigned to a different person. Now it's assigned to Paco Cantero, to our co-founder. I can say create reminder. And now it's not appearing in my reminders, but it's a delegated reminder. And therefore you see it appears now here. So all the reminders that I delegated to somebody will appear here. And then you see if this person checks it off, or I can add this then as a task to a list. So I can immediately convert this into a task, for example, in this project. Boom, now it disappeared and it appears now here as a task assigned to this person with the due date and with the title. This is really powerful. So let's delete this so Paco doesn't get confused. Let's go back to home and there we go. Another thing is that I can now delegate this to myself. So I can move it around and now it's here. I can snooze the reminder. So I could say, remind me tomorrow. It's one place here and I have the overdue reminders and I have the next reminders coming up here. I can edit the layout. I can make this bigger if I need to, if I'm using a lot of the reminders. And here we have the done section. Let's stay in the home section for now. And let's check out here, because here we have now the view of the tasks that are assigned to me. And again, very easy now to access what you need to work on right now. Because as you saw in the beginning of the course, in the everything view, the my week view that we set up manually, this is now reflected also in the home section. So this was not available in ClickUp 2.0. That's why we have this set up here. And we still use this because we have this week view, for example, as well. And we see now all the tasks from all the people. And here in the home section, you really have the things that you're working on right now and in the future and later this week and so on. I also can show the closed tasks. I can have filters here as well. I can really customize this assigned to me view to my liking. And that's really powerful. Also, I could change this to status and it shows me now the status and so on. But I prefer to have the due date here. So I always know what I need to work on. Or if I move this backwards, it shows me then even the overdue date. So that's really powerful. Another thing is that it shows me here the reasons. So you see all the things that I accessed, including my external information that I accessed. So whenever I want to go back, it finds there. And then it shows me the agenda. Whenever you hook up your calendar, it will appear here as well. And this is the old legacy my work thing that I mentioned that shows the delegated thing. And that's no longer necessary. So I can go here to manage cards. And I just uncheck this one, my work, and there we go. Now it's gone. There's another thing that you can add to the home, which is the lineup. So here I can add tasks that I want to focus on. So if I bring this lineup top then, and I could do it this way, then I have always a place where I know, okay, that's what I want to focus on. However, I prefer to do another way. I usually open the task that I want to work on. And then I use this icon to minimize the task. And what this does, it's add this task down here to this tray here. So this is something I can move around as well. I can close these things very quickly. So whenever I'm working on something, I just open up all the relevant content down here. And now I can quickly navigate through all the different information that I need to work on. So let's say I also need to have task 2, because here I also need to have this doc. There is also this tray icon. There we go. Now we have the test doc and all this. And now I can very quickly navigate to the relevant information without clicking through the hierarchy and try to find it again, or even the search. Boom, quick access. So if anybody interrupts me while I'm working on this task, I would quickly just add this to the tray and then I can move away and then show him whatever this person needs to see. So now we talked a lot about tasks and the reminders, but now let's dive a bit deeper into how docs work. So we use Command K again and we just search for the test doc that we just created. And here it is already. There we go. Now we can make this full screen. And again, here's the relevant relations. We see this is assigned to task 2. And now let's see what we actually can do in docs. And the powerful thing in ClickUp, as mentioned before, is that any item and object inside ClickUp has a unique link. And we recommend taking advantage of these links. So what this means, for example, Again, I moved this already to the tray dock. I can easily close this now and navigate around. But let's say I want to mention the projects folder. I go to the 3 dots and here's the copy link. I copied the link, go back to my dock, and then just copy paste the link in here. And what it does, it shows you all the context. It says it's in the ICOR template space, the projects folder. When I click there, it will open up this folder. Boom. The same applies for a list. Let's use the list, copy link, and there we go. And it shows me the list. And it shows me a 2, which represents how many open tasks are in this list. Speaking of tasks, obviously you could use the 2 adds as we did before. And I can add a task like this, or the 3 adds to add a doc like this. However, if you're already somewhere on this doc, for example, 3 dots, copy link, go here, boom. And then it shows the breadcrumbs on where this doc is located. And I even could embed this, but let's keep it this way to keep things simple. But it's even more powerful. I mentioned to you the views on top. So now let's use this week's view. Right click, and there you have also a link icon. When I use this and go back to the doc and I paste it in here, I can embed a list view. And now you see it shows me the view. It embeds the view, and I can even work in this view. I even can change the due date here. I can see the description of the task in here without leaving the doc. So whenever you have any docs that you use on a regular basis, this is where you can build up highly dynamic docs. Same applies to goals. We didn't talk about goals yet, but use this test go, going to sharing and permissions, copy link. Now let's go back to the doc. And let's paste in the goal, and there you go. You get a nice icon with your test goal, 1 click, and you will open up this goal immediately. So this is really a nice way to set things up as well and to leverage docs beyond being just a simple form of documentation. Especially for generating SOPs, creating SOPs, it's nice to have everything in here interconnected. So if people click there, it's interactive. They will go there. You maybe show also views in there to explain things, how to use ClickUp and many other things that you can leverage this too. So now that we briefly opened goals, let's talk quickly about the goals. You see here, release the productivity pillar courses. And this is actually our goal that we've been working on for the past 3 months. We've been publishing 8 courses. Now we can actually close the last course as well. But let's go here. Now you see courses launched, 9 lists. So the beauty of ClickUp is that I don't have to manually update goals. From my experience, you'll never go back to your goals properly if you don't have any routines or in meetings where you say, okay, let's have a look at the goals, update the goals. That's why it's so beautiful that in ClickUp, everything is automated in this case. So all you have to do is, let's do this on the test list here. All you have to do is I can add a target, give it a target name. I can give it an owner. That's no must. And then here, the type of the target. This is what I mean by manual updates. You have to go back and say yes or no, or number or currency, or you click on tasks and then you can pick either a single task or a whole list. And here I will pick this project XYZ list and hit OK. And see, now we have 50% achieved of our test goal because we have this test target achieved. Let's delete this. Now, nothing achieved, okay, 0%. But if you work through your projects and you start completing the stuff, we complete a task, it disappears. By the way, you always can click on show closed in order to show the closed tasks as well. Then you can save the view. But now that we close this task, we can go to goals and there you go, 50% achieved of this goal. Let's complete task 1 as well. And there you go, 100% of this goal achieved. And now I can leverage these goals in dashboards. So that's another section I want to briefly show you what you can do with dashboards. It's a very versatile way of using ClickUp as well. But essentially you can create a new dashboard and let's create one from scratch. And here you go. You have a lot of widgets that are pre-made for you. They might be useful. Maybe they are not. But what's really useful is the embed section. So what we use is, for example, external dashboards that allow you to embed in other pages. You can use this custom embed, and therefore you can show this up. Obviously Google Sheet and all these other things are working as well. You can add a Miro board if you're working on Miro. That's really useful. But now let's just search for goal. And here we have goals. And now I can select the goal, search for this test goal here. And now I have this goal. I can say who is the owner and add the card. And there we go. Now we have a dashboard with this goal in place. So in addition, I could now search for task, and here's task list. And now I can select the location. So I could again use the projects, include subtasks. I can say what it should be grouped by and so on. And I add this. And now it shows all the tasks from this project. As we closed all of them, nothing is showing. However, you could show them by include closed, and then we will see it. There we are. They are the two tasks. So this way you can easily build up dashboards for your weekly meetings to immediately see all the relevant information in one place. Again, that's the power of ClickUp, that all the information is interconnected. Speaking of interconnection, I want to talk about whiteboards. That's also a feature they added not so long ago. So we can create a new whiteboard, say test, and then we can choose where this is placed. So again, I could add this actually to the projects folder, for example. And now you see again templates, but I want to start from scratch. And now it's important to not to get confused. I added it to the folder, and it just added this as a view in this folder. There's also the option to add whiteboards directly there. And that's the same applies for docs. I can either have the doc as a view. So I can go to view and I say I want to create a new doc. There we go. And then it's a view. That's something that we actually leverage in our work streams. But also, for example, in the projects, when we create a course, we will make a view here of the project documentation and the list. These two views. Or in work streams, this is where we have the tasks and the work stream SOP. So this makes it very easy for anyone working in this work stream to quickly access the SOP. Obviously, they could search for it, or we could have an overall document to collect all this, but we prefer to have everything as quickly as accessible as possible. And therefore we have this combination. And then you could go here and also add a whiteboard here. So if you want to have a process workflow or anything showing up, everything stays in one place, and that's really powerful as well. But talking about interconnectivity, let's get back to this. Obviously, a whiteboard is something that you can use here, and the features are limited compared to other whiteboarding features when it comes to design and all this. But the superpower of this is that I can actually add tasks, docs, and then later on even people and lists that's coming. But let's say we go to tasks and we add now task 2 and task 1. So now we have the two tasks that we've been working on before. And I have it in a whiteboard inside ClickUp. And that's really powerful. Now I can use the connection and I can start connecting this, moving it around. And therefore I can lay out my project overview with actual tasks. So whenever the project manager goes in here, they see, oh, this is not completed yet. So I can even change this here, the progress. I can even change the assignee of this task and the priority. Or then obviously I can even change the task name without even leaving the whiteboard. Again, very powerful feature here. Now talking about powerful features, I really want to get into the inbox, because this is really the place where the magic happens, where efficiency shines inside ClickUp if you use the inbox properly. So many people are afraid of inboxes because they are always full. But as we teach inside the Paperless Movement membership, inboxes are really helping you to be productive and stay on top of everything if you manage them properly. So the inbox of ClickUp is really amazing because it differentiates between important and other are usually just status updates or things like that. And important is really the stuff where people mention you or if a comment is assigned to you. So whenever I start in the morning, first thing is I go here and check out the inbox and work through this. So then once you clear an item, it will appear in the cleared items here, and then you can unclear it. This is what I did with these two as an example. And Paco mentioned something here. for the record lessons task, here you have all the scripts ready to go. This is out of context. What is record lessons? However, I can always click here and now I see immediate full context in the inbox. And this is amazing. I see, that's the Automation Like a Pro course in the Paperless Move membership. And these are the scripts. I can click here and go to the script, or I could reply, and you see there's already a reply directly here, but it shows me the context as well. I can then resolve this. Or another thing is that I can hit details and it opens up the task to see even more details relevant to this. And then I can easily still reply here. And then I can work my way through the inbox this way without even leaving the inbox. You see, when I click here, it opens up the next thing and the relevant doc. So I can even work in this doc. So this comment was added inside this doc, but I always can click here and go to comments and go to resolved, and there's the comment. So this is very hidden, but ClickUp really makes a nice job now to emerge these things inside the inbox, but also then on the list view and things like that, where you have open comments. Also, again, why it's so important to assign comments to people so it appears in the home section. So that's really nice. And once I've done this, I then can simply clear this, or I could snooze it. So I say tomorrow, and then it's out because I know I won't get to this before tomorrow. So I can snooze it and keep working through my inbox with peace of mind that I will be able to follow up tomorrow on anything. And if I might have finished task much faster than I thought, then I can catch up and go to the snoozed inbox here and see the things that I snoozed and can immediately start working on this and then clear it. So therefore, the inbox is really powerful. If your inbox is too full, you still have a filter where you can say assigned to me, mentioning me, unread only. So this is also an additional way to filter by the things that really matter to you. All right, we covered already a lot of ground, but what I want to show you is really the power of databases inside ClickUp. They already created something called custom task types, and that's something we started leveraging. Therefore, let's go to the paperless movement space. And here we have the databases, and there we have the productivity tools. And this is a list of tools that we either use ourselves or that we are reviewing. And therefore, each task becomes a single source of truth where we can add any relevant information about this tool. So now let's say I publish a video about ClickUp, and now I could go to ClickUp and add this video inside this task. But as I showed you before, it's much more powerful to add relationships because we have the work stream YouTube videos, and therefore I'm already creating the video and all the relevant information about this video is already inside ClickUp. So it would be stupid to then add duplicated information in a different place. So therefore we really leverage the cross-linking of information inside ClickUp. And you see here, there's a column that has these two arrows there. This indicates that this is information coming from another database. So that's just relationship fields. Again, the details you learn in the ClickUp Like a Pro course and in the Automation Like a Pro course. But in short, you are able to hook up another list, which we just call database, productivity tools database. And then I'm able, whenever I create a new video, I can click here and it will access this database. And now I can search for ClickUp and it will find ClickUp. And therefore I add ClickUp here. So why do I do this? Now I can simply click here and it shows ClickUp. I can click here and it will open up ClickUp, but then I can go to related. And now I see all the related YouTube videos. So it shows me the list, the workstream YouTube videos, and now it shows me all the YouTube videos. And I immediately can click on a YouTube video. It will open up the relevant task. And now I have access immediately to all the relevant information about this video. But my starting point in the future might be going to ClickUp and go to the relationship fields in order to find this information. That's why the interconnection is so powerful inside ClickUp. Another thing that I didn't mention in this course yet is time tracking. Also a very powerful feature here. We are not big fans of time tracking for the sake of tracking time to see what people do. I'm, for example, using time tracking to learn how long things take me to do. So if I create videos or something recurring, then I start the timer and then I will see over time on average how much time it will take for me to complete this task, and it encourages me then to improve the performance and make it more efficient to complete this task in the future. That's the only reason, but it's not about accurate time tracking and things like that. But this being said, you can do so. There's a lot more going on inside ClickUp, like the pulse section where you can see how your team is performing and many more things that I cannot go into more detail in this course yet. Also the automations, that's something we teach inside the ClickUp Like a Pro course and in the Automation Like a Pro course, where I show how we fully automate from creating a task up to publishing on our website as a blog post. And all I need to do in order to do this is just hit complete, and everything else will be on autopilot. It will upload this to our website. It will publish it on our website and so on and so forth. But this would be too much for a beginner's course, because really, automations is something you should be very careful to use. We only apply it to our work streams because these are recurring things. And then it makes sense to use automations to improve efficiency. But for example, for projects or in general, be very careful whenever you use automations. Again, there are also templates for automations that I wouldn't recommend to do this at all. Always try to lay out your business processes first and then see what really can be automated. And many times it's even better to make it manual rather than automation, and it will even be quicker. But again, what this means you learn inside the Paperless Movement membership if you want to learn more about this. Obviously, if ClickUp has so many features and ways you can use it, if you have the feeling something is missing in this beginner's course, let me know in the comments below. I'm happy to make follow-up videos to cover also the other areas that you might have missed in this video. And if you really want to dive deep into ClickUp to actually improve your and your team's productivity, then I highly recommend to watch the ClickUp Like a Pro course, because having a tool and nice features is one thing, but how to master them and apply them actually to a tool agnostic system is a whole other story. And if you like the course, share it with your friends and colleagues, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you up next time.